think having a 20% filter is pretty good for a podcaster, right? If you're trying to make the podcast work, you got to have a loose filter.
It's like I find myself speaking, like my brain is like 3 steps ahead, of what I'm saying, because I'm thinking, okay, like if a shareholder sees this or a future customer sees this, like I'm like, okay, don't say that thing that you're saying, like it sucks. But the reality is I do think like the audience, the reason why I feel like I mean, to be real, like I really haven't blown up in any way on like any of the social stuff is because I do filter it.
Yeah.
And I think like if you saw like and it just sucks because I can't for some reason get over it. Like I have the consistency of posting. I have the, basically that. I probably do have some subject matter, expertise, but I just like, I'm bouncing from making greeting cards to websites. And then it's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Michael here, CEO, co-founder of DevHub. I'm joined today by Freddy Hunt. Freddy Hunt, go ahead and introduce yourself to the crowd.
Thanks, Mark. I'm Freddy Hunt. I am the director of Web Ops and SEO at Authority Brands.
I mean, look, for me, the elephant in the room is obviously all the things related to future of search.
Yes.
I mean, have you played with like Operator or any of those tools yet?
I haven't played too much. I mean, we're keeping a very close eye on just how it's affecting traditional search, how it's affecting Google search. Even what's going on in Google search alone is quite alarming in many ways. I mean, just
Google search, like the writing on the wall, like it could be slowly dying, or like, what are you thinking? This is already the best episode of all time, just for the record. Anyway,
already the best. I think that just the fact that Google has lost a teeny bit of market share is kind of the canary in the coal mine. And I don't know. I don't think you can really put all of your eggs in one basket anymore. We were just looking earlier this week at some of our informational keywords that used to bring in a lot of traffic to the site. And you can see as soon as Google rolled out like the AI overviews that we just stopped getting traffic. We still get the impressions, but you just don't get the traffic that you get from those types of searches anymore. It's just not all, but most of it just a no-click search now.
So then what do you like? What is the role of a website then?
I mean, knowing that traffic is just harder to come by, right? Paid ads are more inefficient. You're paying more for traffic there. Our informational content's just not bringing in users as much anymore. What we're really focusing on is the traffic we do win, the potential customers we get to the site. Let's do everything we can to convert them. So really just trying to squeeze as much juice out of it as you can. And that's why all of our website projects have been focused on just conversion rate. How do we convert them as much as possible, making it as good of a user experience as we can. That's really where we are. I mean, we're not giving up on increasing our representation in organic search. We're certainly still doing that. But a lot of the focus now has been on, okay, let's just provide the best experience possible. And that's pretty good advice to follow, really. Search engines are supposed to provide a good user experience. So if they see users on your site are enjoying it and consuming your content, then you can expect to be rewarded. But yeah, a lot of emphasis has just been on conversion and remarketing. SEO is kind of a way to introduce them to your brand and win them as a one-time customer. Now we need to think about how do we get that repeat business? How do we keep them engaged with our brand and keep coming back?
All right. So when did you first meet us? Like, have you ever even heard of us in your career, basically, up until
Authority? No, I didn't. No,
right.
Not until I started at Authority Brands.
Right. So again, what sucked for us was, I would say, for like 15 years, like behind the scenes of like all the leading marketing technology platforms and/or companies, right? And we were always just kind of put in like this weird little box of like, you just do local pages, or we just need microsites for this manufacturer, or, financial advisor single page sites for a large financial services company. And then when the pandemic happened, right? It was like everyone went, oh, we need to integrate with this now, online ordering. We need to do that. We want to add 5 more pages to and again, all of those marketing technologies that we were powering, we're like, dude, we're not a services company. We're not going to do any of that stuff that the brand is asking for. That was like the first aha. Second aha was we acquired a company which gave us a bunch of retail brands. And we were like, oh, wow, like we can control more of this like online to offline story if we actually took over even the corporate site. So not just like a side product of like, you know, a microsite or a local page, but like corporate to local. We're like, holy shit, this is great. And then third, obviously, was just like basically, you know, burning the boats and being like, hey, sorry, we're going direct to brand. Like I felt like we always, like we have the receipts of like from ADA to mobile back in the day, like to all the schema stuff, all the like everything that Google did. Like we never wanted to build a company that was scared of Google. That was like 17 years ago. We used to say that, you know?
Yeah.
And then like now that we get to be with brands, but then I'm going to show you this. And this is like, again, like I said, unfiltered. So playing around with like operator, I was like, holy shit. Like one, I believe like you guys, we are regardless set up for it. But again, I still think there's an element that we're missing. So I'm going to show you this. We're doing this in real time. He had no clue. All right. So this is as if I was pitching someone today, right?
Okay.
So this is more or less like an argument or discussion I had with some of our sales team today. I was like, we need to stop selling websites, right? And they were like, Mark, we got to bridge their gap for people, you know? And so I was like, no, this is the pitch. So again, like not active in real life, but like active because we have the receipts that all of these capabilities we already have. All right. So again, leading with this. And then again, right? Like
here you go. The search is changing.
Right. The search though on the left are the links. And then we were playing with operator, right? Like again, like it clicked for me so hard that again, like, oh, you know, I have water damage or something, right? Like I'm looking for a restoration company near me on Google. But within like call it just LLM, call it whatever you want. AI, call it large language model, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'll just call this one ChatGPT or ChatGPT's operator. It was like, my basement flooded today. I need to find a restoration company that can come to my house today. Find me a restoration company in my area. And roughly how much do you think it would cost? Figure right around 500 square feet. Like you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
So then when you watch operator go through those few results on the home page or the, you know, that page of Google, whatever they're searching, the internet, and it's looking and it's like, you can see it looking for not just reviews. Like, is there like a starting price? Is there like, do they actually have something that talks about clogged drains? And like, you can see it like reading the site. And I was like, oh my God, like who's ever going to do, again, for sure, a Google search. So again, so this is like, I was like, so today the sales team has like a pitch and they want to talk about websites. I'm like, you're leading with this. But do you, okay, so far, is this true?
I think so. I mean, I think it's definitely the trend. I think a lot of people look at this and say, oh gosh, our website's not as valuable anymore. But you still need that content on your website, right? You still need something that addresses price, availability, reviews, just the social proof there. So you still need the content on your website. We're just not going to be able to measure it the same way we always have, right? Because I don't know what the attribution looks like for an operator search, but they're probably going to just connect you directly with the business.
Well, you know, and you can actually just book it from the
from
like, yes, book it. If they can show up at 3 o'clock today, book it.
Yeah, an operator, of course, was referencing your website, but the website is never in that attribution at all. At least I don't think so. Right. That is, I mean, we're not going to forget like how important the content is on our website, and we're continuously building the content. But on the other side of the coin, we also need to make sure that systems like Operator can actually integrate with our booking system. And
that
Booking
is
has been
like,
a huge charge for us lately.
and if again, so that again, remember that was like one of the ahas that we had, which was again like these again food service, home service, or sorry, fast casual, restaurant, whatever, QSR, and then even home services. Like we want to natively integrate with online ordering. They didn't, but again, it took the pandemic for a lot of them because a lot of them were just forms on a page or whatever. Again, not restaurants on the residential services side. And then now it's like, no, we want it like, and again, like it has to be natively integrated. Like essentially almost has to be, I think. All right, so then here's the second thing. People want answers, not links. Again, that's just more of the same thing. The way people searches change. Yeah, your website isn't structured right. You're invincible, fine. And then this is where I was like telling the team, I was like, look, anyone who wants a website, we will recommend them an agency who will build them a website. But again, like the SEO and whatnot, again, read it. And then you tell me, like, is it like, are we there yet? Or is it not going to happen? Is it going to happen?
It's a good question. I don't know if we're there yet. I think a lot of it is people playing around now, trying to see if like the AI model will actually satisfy their query. I don't think it's been widely adopted. I think it'll get there for sure. I bet we would see it in the next 2 years. We're going to see market share completely just wobble.
What I've said to the company, and I think even our shareholders, is like, it's a 2-year fuse and it's been lit.
2 years? All right. Yeah.
All right, we'll see. This is going to be on the internet past 2 years, you know? And so, yeah, I just think, and it sucks. It's my investment. It's how I buy stock. It's how I just look at like who's around me and what they're doing. Right. So again, like the fact that my parents, my rule with my parents is I will not touch any of their technology. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, Mark, my phone, I'm like, figure it out. Go ask my brother. Like, I'm not going to touch it. Because then it's like, if I touch it, then it's like broken forever. And it's like, I did it. And then you keep coming back. I'm like, and I love them. If you know me, I love my parents. But I'm just saying, like, don't bring me your laptop. I don't care. Like, that's your, the fact that they use, I think my mom uses, I think Gemini or whatever is on, or whatever's on Bing. I think it is actually ChatGPT.
Yeah,
but it's like the fact that they're going there, like, they're watching a show. How old is Al Pacino now? And they're not going to Google to do that search, right? They're literally going, the voice on ChatGPT to be like, how old is Al Pacino now? How old is what was the one they looked up the other day? Clint Eastwood, like
yeah.
The fact that they're using it already is like, this was my argument with the sales team earlier was like, I'm like, we already crossed the chasm, in my opinion, and so, okay, so there was that. So it's like, if you want to
that is wild though. Like, I'd be interested to see how like an older demographic is adopting this. It seems like they would love it, right? You don't have to stare at the tiny words. You can just talk to it as loud as you want, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said before we started, right? Like, I believe in content. Like, it's like, I just feel like anyone who has any idea about anything, in a weird way, you now have like a friend with some of these AI models.
Yeah.
That's almost better than a real friend because you can actually brainstorm the thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like negative, right? Like, it doesn't have an opinion almost. Like, it does, but it like doesn't, right? Like, hey, I want to do this thing. Great. Where do you want to start?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Are you using it like that?
I mean, yes.
Yeah. You got it in your phone?
Like, I use it, like, I don't know, like, I use it. And again, I'm primarily, it's like, do I think ChatGPT is the best? No, I don't. Actually, I really don't. But unfortunately, I think they captured the mind share of people so quickly, so early on, that the fact that it's already natively kind of now on my phone and whatnot, and a tab open in my desktop, like, it's kind of hard not to. I mean, so like, again, like I'll just tell this story. Who gives a shit? See, again, this is like that 20% where I normally want to tell. You're bringing it out in me. And it's like, I went to the doctor, right? Every year I do like a full physical.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is unrelated to probably what we're talking about.
Let's see where this goes.
All right. Anyway, I go to the doctor and like, I do a blood test, all the blood work. And they're like, it gets uploaded into their online e-patient system, whatever the hell. And it like, just all the numbers chart. I'm like, what the hell does this mean? And like, up until that point, this is like, call it November of last year, December maybe. I would have never plugged anything truly personal
Mhm.
into these, ChatGPT or anything. But then I just I just want the answer. Like, what the hell? So I literally uploaded those PDFs of my blood work, and it was like, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool. You maybe need vitamin. Like, what vitamins should I take based on this blood? And it's like, I was like, oh my God, like,
Yeah, that's an awesome use case.
and so it's just wild. I had a friend yesterday told me he put his taxes into it. He's like, it was wild. It basically did all of their taxes for them.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and so it's like, I just it's so hard for me. Like, I brainstorm plays, short movies, obviously my blood work, like just across the board. And so again, what I don't like it for, and I can totally tell that people do use it, is like their social posts. That one kills me, right?
Yeah.
Or like fake content. Like, you can just tell, like, it's like, this is just like when they use the word but, I just feel like the word but gives it away, because they say the word but so many times in the content. All right, something like AI models, structured data, built-in schema markup, automated content optimization, scalability, fine. What else? Boom. How DevHub plugs in versus an agency website, because we're a platform that's constantly updating. This is, I'm not going to say future selling, but essentially, right? Like, this is the type of platform that I think, well, one that I know we already have. Again, it's that last bit of how well these AI, let's just call them large language models, whatever, are actually leveraging the web. Operator was the first real time where I saw it actually, like, not thinking, but essentially it picked 5 restoration companies. It went through each of their sites looking for a way to book, looking for price, looking for clog drain content, and it was like, of those 5, it didn't matter. I was like, it's going to pick the best rated one. That's what I really thought. And like, you can see it looking at the highly rated one, and like one that had like the shittiest logo, but had pricing start at $99. And again, who knows the service you're going to get.
Yeah.
But it was just like funny that it gravitated toward the one that didn't have the reviews as the others. The design wasn't maybe even the best, but they had a native integration, like, okay, here's our calendar to look at, pricing, and then the content around clog drains. And it went that way. And I was like, oh my God, that's a whole different beast.
Yeah. You got to think, it's just trying to find like the most relevant answer, right? What's most relevant? So whichever website has the most content to that particular question is probably going to be favored. I mean, that's way more important than a logo, who has the best logo or the best designed website. So I think content still wins at the end of the day.
Yeah. What is like something you hate when people do it and you're like, oh, they're gonna get screwed later?
What, like website
wise, content wise?
Oh man, I mean, right now everybody's rushing to just blast out content, right? There's a lot of people that, hey, let's do daily blog posts, or even if it's just not a daily blog post, but a blog post that was completely written by AI. Like, there's just so much crappy content out there right now. It's not going to work. I mean, maybe it'll work for a week or 2 or a month. I've seen countless studies where it's like, yeah, this is what happened when we created a 10,000 page website overnight. And yeah, it works for a little bit, but the search engines get keen to that. They know that, oh, this is just like low quality content. So while everybody is rushing towards, let's build out a local service page for every service we have. So, right, if you have 20 services, you have 200 locations, that's a lot of different pages on your website. It's not a great experience, right? It just makes your website bigger and kind of harder to manage. So while they're doing that, I would recommend really just focusing on quality of content. Like, use the AI to really explore like what other questions your customers might have related to this, and give them like helpful information, not just a bunch of garbage.
I mean, the problem with quality is it costs money.
Mm-hmm.
And at scale, it costs way more than people think. And so I just feel like, again, just based on my experience, they just constantly look for the cheaper alternative, right? And then it's like, oh, I found somebody that'll do it for like 0.00 pennies a word. And then it's like, I just built 1,000 pages for $500 or whatever the hell the math is. And it's like, fuck. Like, I honestly, like, nowadays won't even correct them. Again, if they're a customer of ours, we won't hopefully tell them not to do it. But if it's somebody else, I'm like, how are you going to talk them off that ledge? You know,
yeah,
they're going to have to, they just have to go through it. And again, like when I said earlier, I said, we never wanted to build a company that was scared of Google. We started actually even pre-DevHub. The company was actually called Evo Landing. And what it was a whole way to monetize dormant domain names on the internet.
Oh, interesting.
At scale. Remember like parked pages?
Yep.
But like blow that out. And we did content deals with fucking everybody, like no scraping, truly like dynamic engine to build like a content rich e-commerce site just based on the domain name. And as we started to get really good, aka being able to publish 100, 1,000, 100,000, you would see Google blacklist a site. This is the first time I've actually told this story, I think.
Yeah.
Blacklist a site. And there's no recourse for it.
Yeah. You just put in that black box.
Right. And it was like, at that moment, we knew that that's not a company that we had. I was like, we're going to, that day was like, you turn white. You're like, wait, what? Where's the site doesn't even exist, right? You can appeal it and whatever, but it's like, you're basically in a weird little island. And it was like, we cannot build a company that was scared of Google. So then we pulled out all the publishing tools into modules, right? So this was for content, this was for video, it could drag and drop websites. And then that's how it evolved into what it evolved into now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like so it's like, again, like when I see somebody like, I'm going to go publish, like you said, 10,000 pages, 1,000 pages. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. I'm sure there might be a way you could do it right, but it's not going to be cheap and it's not going to be fast. All of those shortcuts eventually end somewhere. They don't work forever.
The only thing that I would say it's so messed up. And again, it still happens, but it seems like less frequently, but maybe it happens more frequently, is sometimes when that content is behind a big national brand, it seems to like hang on longer than if it was somebody smaller just starting, Yeah.
No, that's very true. I think they can leverage the credibility of the brand and they can get away with a lot more. They don't have the best content out there, but they'll still rank because they're, whatever home name brand.
Let me ask you this. This is just obviously selfish, right? So we obviously like we either compete against, I don't want to say it. Well, I'll just say it. Fuck it. So we basically for websites alone, because that's all we do. Right, we're just websites, right? The corporate site, the franchisee sites, the Finder, landing pages for paid search and surveys. That's basically what our little suite.
Yep.
But we go against WordPress agencies, right? Agencies who are building on WordPress, or essentially like an all-in-one platform, like a la like a Scorpion, right?
Yep.
And one of the biggest rebuttals we heard last week, we heard it like 3 times, right? Which was like, we don't want to be on a proprietary CMS.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, it's like, honestly, it's like, I'm asking you right now, like, I am, like, I get like this. I'm like, what do you mean? Like the same way we're going to move you to us, you can move off of us, right? Like I guess I don't understand the word proprietary. I know, I get it, right? They think, oh, it's DevHub. So if we don't, but it's like all the content, everything is portable, right? You can like take it with you. The same way we brought you over from wherever you were at is the same way you can leave. Except we'd probably be even more friendly, about it. Like, but how do you think we get around that rebuttal?
Yeah, I think that they have the mindset as I'm going to be handcuffed, and every change I need to make on the website is going to have to go through DevHub, and they're going to nickel and dime me for everything we want to do. And they may be used to having a WordPress site where, hey, we can get a plugin for this and solve our issue. So proprietary may sound like that, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be hard to manage on our own. I think there are a lot of pros to having a proprietary system because we can do whatever we want. Like we bring ideas to your team all the time.
some of our product roadmap comes from you guys.
Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah.
Seriously, it does. That's why I said they were excited because they're like, you're talking to, yeah. I was like, geez, even Daniel, he's the smart one of the two of us,
Yeah.
He's my business partner since I was 17. And so,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And so the fact that he was excited, like I'm like this and he's more. And so the fact that he was excited, I was talking to you, but yeah, a lot of the product roadmap stuff, like literally, I mean, we have a thing, Feature Friday, like, you should look at some of them because I think they're because of you guys.
Hey, awesome. I got a couple more I need to share with your team too.
You do it. They'll run it up.
Probably the hardest part and the best part of my job is I have so many people that I have to navigate between. So I have franchisees, I have the brand managers, I have the VPs and everyone who is asking for something to get done on the website. So I kind of have to synthesize all of that and then bring it to your team to see what can be done and when should we do it. I don't think I've ever been told no, that's not something we can do. I have been told that's not a good idea, but I've never been told no, that we can't do that. And yeah, Willow especially is such a superstar. I don't know how she juggles all of the crap we bring to her. It's remarkable.
I would say one of the joys of running this company now with actual customers, right? Because before I felt like a drug dealer, right? We were white labeled down to our source code. No one knew, but we would go to a conference and half the room is we power, right? Well, at least one of their products is powered by us, but it always just felt awkward, right? It was anyway, my point is with Willow, she's one of the people that has grown up with us, I guess. And is constantly grown and has never been I won't do that or I don't do that. It was what else can I do? And that is actually where some of the joy comes from nowadays in this whole thing. It's oh, there's someone that they actually have a career and they're growing, and it's sick. And so, all right, cool. So what else? So do you call yourself home services, residential services? What category do you call
home services?
That's what I call it too.
Home services, yeah, or house services.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I've always lived. I lived in the dorms in college. This is a long time ago, I guess. And then from there, living in the city of Seattle in a condo. I never really had a house, so I never really had. I hate to say maintenance, but I just didn't. Yeah. And then during the pandemic, we came down to Arizona, and it's every month there's something wrong. Yeah.
Having a house is expensive, man.
It's crazy. I keep telling people, I actually believe it's just urban camping. Yeah. I feel the door of the world, that it's this big. You basically just, no matter how big your shack is, it doesn't really and there's an invisible veil of society that's going to keep people out. I'm mind blown by the concept of I want to go back to condo life so bad.
Do you really?
100%. I sleep like a baby when I'm in Seattle. Yeah. I don't even think twice. Just
is it the weight of maintaining your home that keeps you up at night?
It's just the outside world is what keeps me up at night. I'm wait, what was that noise? It's every day it's home alone. I'm the hell. Wait, who's on the yard to give the cameras? You have Amazon delivery drivers at 2:30 in the morning. I'm just the hell is going on? Can I just sleep? It's wild. I mean, I don't wish it on anybody, but again, there's no talking people off that ledge.
Yeah, we had a sleepless summer. We had raccoons showing up to our house every night, it seemed, and they're trying to get our chickens. We have a small chicken coop. Yeah, three
mosquitoes,
raccoon control.
I mean, again, I didn't realize how important home services was until we have the pool guy, the landscaper, again, housekeepers, whatever, twice a month. And then again, something always breaks. So it's either the plumber, the HVAC guy.
Don't forget your electrician.
The refrigerator went out, which was an appliance person.
Oh, appliances, man,
You know,
that's
like
expensive. You might as well just buy a new whatever broke. It is so expensive.
I can tell you, this month was $1,600 for the HVAC system on the roof. It was just like two parts too. It was like a compressor thing and like something else.
Yep.
1,600 out the window. It's like, so you're telling me when I see an HOA for $900, and now, and by the way, things can go wrong in the condo, you know, but
Yep.
it just feels like it happens less frequently than it does at a house, where all of a sudden now it's a $1,600 bill. I'm like crazy. And my wife is like one of those people. She does real estate, and a lot of it, and so she like doesn't believe in like deferred maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when it's but like she's getting it fixed.
Do it now.
100%. Like she doesn't give. We have the pest control. The guy who sprays around the house every 2 months, I think it is.
And you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So you got scorpions.
So we do. Even though I say I've only seen 2 in the house.
Oh, in the house? Oh, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, I know. But so I'll just say this story. Like every once in a while, like if we like drink a little bit, like we'll take the black lights and go outside and look for them.
Oh, you see their eyes glowing? Isn't that how you
Oh,
find
the
them?
whole body glows.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, like there was like, wait, what year did you graduate high school?
I graduated in 2004.
Okay, I'm 2000. So, I don't know, but like neon, they glow neon, and it's not an exaggeration. It's like between the yellow marker and the green marker, it's somewhere on there. Like you can YouTube it. Like when you put the black light on them, they glow.
Yeah.
And
do you have a backlight flashlight just for scorpions?
Yeah. 2 little ones like this. Yeah, because like everyone, like people are visiting, right? And so they're like, you want to see a, like you have a couple of drinks, like, hey, you want to see a scorpion, and like there's like an alleyway. Never seen them on the property. And then I told you the 2 in the house. One came in with like a weird Costco box, and one came in actually when I grabbed the mail. It was like in between, I think. And it came out. We have like a weird coffee table in our house, and it like went into the coffee table because it's like this vintage pinball machine thing.
Yeah.
I didn't kill it. So like that was like 2 years ago. So I'm pretty sure it still lives in
there somewhere.
Yeah.
Having babies.
Apartment,
Oh gosh. I have a teammate who lives in the Phoenix area. He says his cat takes care of the scorpions.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd get a cat just for that.
I mean, we are a cat company over here.
Oh yeah?
100%. It's like, yeah. I mean,
I don't know if I've seen any cats on our calls. I've seen a couple of dogs. I've seen Willow's dog quite a bit.
Yeah, she has a cat.
She has a cat. Well, yeah, she does have a cat too.
Not Tom. What's his cat's name?
Yeah, your cat will take care of all your pest problems.
Cats are the best roommates in the world.
Yeah. Mice, obviously. Cockroaches.
Where are you at?
Take out cockroaches.
Where are you at with chickens?
Where am I at with chickens? I'm in northern Michigan. So I'm in Traverse City, Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's been on my
they're cold chickens right now, but they're doing good.
That's been on my bucket list actually.
Yeah, come to Traverse City.
It pops up as like one of the best towns in like America, like best small towns, like all the time.
All the time. Yep. It's the crown jewel of the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how do you fly to like a Chicago? Like do you drive that or do you fly that?
You could drive it. The flight's only like 40 minutes. So usually we connect through Chicago.
To go anywhere else in America. Will you go to IFA?
Or Detroit or Chicago. I'm not going to IFA this year, no. Yeah. Are you guys going?
Yeah. I mean, essentially it's like our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Like a bunch of the brands that we've, been reaching out to are all kind of there, right? And they've rejected our emails. And so it's the first time to be like, reject the face, This is the most candid one I've ever done, just for the record, because I was like, again, I'm getting to that. I think it's an age thing where it's like you realize that it's all good intent. You know what I mean? Like, and I think people can see the intent.
Yep.
So like the more real you can be, I think the better, essentially.
Yeah, totally. I mean, going back to like the AI content, that stuff is so fake. It's so unauthentic.
You can tell.
The reason why podcasts have become so popular is because it's like purely authentic. There's nothing fake about it, I guess you could script a podcast, but
so I did.
Not if you go live. Not if you go live like this.
No, not if you go live. So again, like the reason why I believe in a lot of the AI stuff was when Google released their little, I think it was ML or something notebook, whatever it was called, like a couple months ago. I had written an article because I was walking in downtown Seattle. I saw Nordstrom has like essentially one of their flagship stores is right in downtown Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's nobody in there. And it's just like this building, and it's also like a lot of kind of weird people are standing around the building. So it's just like you're not shopping like you did. Like I'm not gonna come out with any bags, like it's like I love my life. Like I'll just order it on Amazon. But I was like, in theory, I just believe that those should turn into like a private club. Like a private, just like it's a $5 a year, like symbolic, where you can't even come in unless you have a membership. So at least it's like this sick building, but you can't. Anyway, I wrote like a whole blog post about it. And then I plugged it into Google's thing, which then created a podcast of a guy and a girl talking, in theory, about the article, but like with all the ums and hus and likes and like dude and like I've shown it to like everybody. It's published right now on my own personal podcast, and no one can tell it's two fake people.
Wow.
It's wild.
That is wild.
It is so nuts. I mean, fuck it. I'm going to do it right now. Watch. Just so you can just hear just a second clip of it. Watch. Taking Nordstrom private. Watch. Tell me if you can hear this.
It's like Nordstrom's like that energy is just gone.
Yeah, and it's not just the empty stores, right? It's like that buzz, that energy that used to be synonymous with a place like Nordstrom.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's not just a Seattle thing. They brought up the whole thing with Macy's closing
That sounds like drive time radio.
Deal.
It is.
Like it really highlights how much things have changed.
And that's where I think the article takes this really fascinating turn.
Yeah.
Because they go from this kind of elegy for the mall to
the regular article
idea.
Okay.
Because Nordstrom just goes, you know what? We're out. We're going private. We're this exclusive club now.
Wow.
And we have tiers of membership.
Okay.
$100 a year gets you in the door. Wow. $500 gets you premium.
Okay.
And then there's this
wild, right?
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Crazy. So you take that mixed with what Operator was doing on home service sites. I was like, again, I still believe that the website is the source of truth for any brand's experience, right? Like if you just want to know the truth, like you're going to go to the brand's website, not, again, with deep fakes and like all the other shit people can fake. It's like, if I go to the brand's website and they say that they do blank, it's real.
Yeah.
If they don't have it on their website, one, it doesn't exist. But so that gives me a lot of, I guess, calm. Because again, like, we came from the world of 20 years of Google rankings.
Yeah, domination.
Yeah. And
I am curious, like, how does an AI model like gather information? Obviously the website, but does it also visit the socials? And like, is there a certain weight between the two? Like,
that's a good question. You
probably how does it absorb content or information?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a good point because, in a weird way, whether it does or doesn't, I don't know the answer. But just conceptually thinking, it actually should probably grab all of it. Again, everything that's authorized from the brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the brand's true socials, the brand's own website to basically build a picture.
Yep.
I don't know how deep it goes right now. Again, all I know is like ChatGPT as of this recording wasn't necessarily real-time web. It's like delayed by a couple weeks or a month or a few months. I forgot what it was. It was delayed. It wasn't real time. But then the Operator one, that was real time. So like,
yeah, that's wild. The biggest game changer for me, just in my like day-to-day work, is hooking GPT 4.0 up to Google Sheets. That has been just like so powerful. Like we are doing so much more in seconds that used to take hours of work.
Do you use our Sheets or do you use Sheets for something else?
We do use your site sheets, but I don't like to mess around too much in there, just in case I delete something or change something. So no, I'll
They
edit.
built those redundancies in even more recently. I think you should ask about that. But there's something that they had like some weird either rollback or something. I just heard it again the other day. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So now we can hook the GPT up to a sheet, and I just process so much data. An example, we had to write, I think, like 40,000 like alt text for different images on our website. And the AI would actually look at the image, you just give it a link to the image file, and then it would write a short description about what that image is. Like 40,000 images would take anybody a long time, right? Like at least like a week of work if they're honestly going to look at each and every image. We're able to do it in minutes. It was crazy. And meanwhile, like a year ago, we would have paid somebody to do that. So we saved a boatload of money doing it, just got it done so much faster.
How big is your guys' team?
Our team is small but mighty. We have 4.5 total on the Web Ops SEO. So we have one part-timer, 3 full-time, and then me. Then we also have a director of paid, a director of CRM, and then our VP who's kind of leading the team.
But you're in the marketing org.
We're in the marketing org, yeah.
So how many in the marketing org total, top to bottom, you think?
Oh man, it's
including brand managers.
Yeah, including the brand. That's what I was gonna say. That's what makes it kind of hard to figure. I think we have about 40.
That's what I was kind of the number in my head. I was thinking it's got, as I was saying it, because again, I mean, do you consider it 12 brands or 7?
Right now, I am mostly focused on 7 of our brands, our big established brands, but I help all of the brands. So I'd say 14. Yeah, 14. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't get this wrong. You might have to edit this out. 15 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, again, like you said, to the point of like a podcast and being candid and this and that, again, it's funny, like some home services is just 2 people.
Yep.
But even though they have maybe like 300, call it service areas or locations,
yep,
it's still 2 people. And so it's like all over the place. And then some are just starting and they already have 10 in the marketing org. And so it's just like what, again, like I don't know, like it's so funny. I'll just say, be real with you, even more candid, is that like marketing is such a funny thing in the sense that there's either people who actually know what that means, and then there's the people who like literally have essentially like faked it their whole career and know actually nothing about marketing. And that was like a weird realization. Don't forget, we were a white label provider, right? So like the marketing, like they were our sales force. Like they, once they licensed our software, they scaled us up, right? So like, but now working direct with a customer, and then us obviously trying to get more customers, aka our own marketing of what DevHub. Yep. Wild how many people actually don't know actually anything about marketing. Yeah. Like it's all like, I'm posting, so I'm marketing. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Something you said earlier, you're saying what DevHub is known as. You didn't say UX. I actually really love the UX work that you guys have been doing. That's kind of picking the site apart and telling us why this is good or this isn't good, and then showing us like a better design or a better user experience.
That's a human, and he cares a lot.
Yeah, he does care a lot. It comes through. And that is what I love. It's like I said, we're trying to really just amplify the user experience as much as possible. So we're still working on acquisition, getting more users to come to the site. Yeah. We're probably putting in an equal amount of effort just to provide the best user experience possible and to see if we can get them to schedule an appointment or at least call us on the phone. And I think that's the exciting part. So Mark, were you marketing to begin with, or were you more like engineering side?
I will be sales marketing.
Sales marketing.
sales, marketing. Daniel, my co-founder, like I said, since I was 17, he's always been like product engineering, and ultimately I would say like the closer, right? So forever, right? I'd be like, yo, Freddie, what up? That's funny. Let's go, Freddie. You know, you're like, Mark, I like kind of believe you, but I really don't. I was like, no, Freddie, relax. Let me get Daniel, and all of your actual questions will be answered, right? And so then I bring him in, and everyone's like, holy shit, you guys work together that long. You know, like it's like a no-brainer. They're gonna listen to.
So Daniel's like he's the one that's bad at sales but good at selling, right?
Yeah.
Did you say
exactly.
that? Okay.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like he will never put together the pitch. He doesn't know. But again, like the parts of the pitch where he is the authority, people know. People shut up, and then they're like, oh fuck, these guys know what they're talking about. You know, it's never been me. And then, but to my own fault is I was one of those probably bad marketers, right? Where I thought like posting to post, writing a blog post every day, all these things were of value. Just zeros. Like just actual, not even like a +1, not a -1.
Yeah.
Just work for the sake of work. No coherent strategy, no measurement of any results. But I can do it because I can do it. But there was just nothing. And it was, but unfortunately, that's the only way I can learn. And now I know what real looks like or sounds like and actually executes like.
Well, I think what you're doing now is marketing, or marketing that's working, right? If you have the goal of just like getting your brand out there, you know, getting your brand personality out there, I think this is a really good way to do it. You know, showing up and being authentic.
Yeah. Again, like, you know, what's funny is like, again, like I think that every department at DevHub should have their own podcast, right? Customer success, engineer, like, and again, it doesn't have to be about DevHub. Like, don't worry about it. Just like be a personality. Because again, to me, the way social works, God damn it. Anyway, to me, the way I'll do it. I'm not
have your soapbox.
I don't know. This is like probably the most candid I've been on it. Anyway, to me, the way social works is based on human curiosity, right? Freddy Hunt. No one knows, let's just say Freddy Hunt in mass, right? Like you have your pockets that know who Freddy Hunt is, or even Mark Michael. No one knows. They listen to this, whatever this is titled on the internet, they go down that, like, well, who's Freddy? I like the way Freddy Hunt talks. And they look up Freddy Hunt. It's like, oh, Freddy Hunt's at AB and he does SEO. And then, well, I'm actually running my thing over here. Or my friend is running it. Like, they should probably talk to this Freddy guy. What's the attribution at the end of the day for that random form fill or that random, DM on LinkedIn?
Oh man, yeah.
And that's why marketing,
it'd probably be LinkedIn, but
marketing and our CFO both hate me because I'm like, I will quadruple down on content. Because again, like even though a video, I can attribute one brand we closed last year to a video with 23 views because they literally said, Mark, we saw the video of you saying this, this, and this. We had to find out if it was real. I looped in Daniel, and we got that deal. Big home businesses or auto repair. But they literally actually said, we saw this 23 views.
Yep.
And again, like I think, but outside of that, some of the inquiries and whatnot that this could generate or doesn't generate doesn't really matter. It's like, it's the name Freddy Hunt, it's the name Mark Michael, it's the name DevHub, it's the name AB. And then people just naturally have that curiosity. But again, there's no linear, that directly resulted in a form, like an action. And so everyone's like, oh, content, that type of content's a waste. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. We just got to measure it different. 23 views doesn't mean it's bad, right?
Right.
And now, we've been talking about AI and GPT search and all that. That's going to make it even harder to see where it actually came from.
I mean, again, unless GPT or these other ones go and they start selling the space, right? So if you're looking up home services, like, yes, here's a whole detailed thing, but just in case you're not interested, these are the sponsored ones over here. And then, I mean, again, like I don't know how they wouldn't monetize it that way, except again, like right now, there's the $20 model, there's a free one, the $20 one, and the $200 one. And maybe there's just enough in having like, essentially like subscribers that it's, no different. But again, I think you add the ads element and then it's.
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge industry. I don't think they're going to just turn their back on all of that potential,
I know, but it's.
I think that it's free and ad free for users now, just so they can take market share, and then they're going to turn the ads on.
Yeah. I mean, again, I play with all the video stuff too, right? Because again, like I have like ideas for things, right? Again, I don't have kids, so I do have some time on the weekends. I'm like trying to be like a musician, like
Oh, cool.
And so like again, like I have ideas for short films and like it's getting so close. I just feel like it's like not even a year away for me to be like, I want a movie about a guy named Mark. By the way, here's his picture. So like, hey, I'm now in the movie. He's looking for, whatever, like the best martini or love or whatever the hell he's looking for in New York City, the 80s, it's like, and like, please wait 30 minutes and then boom, the movie pops out, hour and a half long. Like, I really, like, I don't know how that's not where it's headed. Like I just don't know. Like, it feels like it's there.
I think it's very close. Yeah. I mean, even just the fake radio interview that you shared, like that's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like I wrote a blog post on my own personal blog about it. I was like not, oh wow, what do I call it? Not ahas. Not like basically like the realization moments in the last year have been like almost every other week, right? Where like a new tool or a new thing. And now granted, I would actually say, I'm going to go ahead and say this as of this recording, 90% of the AI things that people publish are actually bullshit and just like more automated workflows. Like, I don't actually think there's anything AI related about it. Just actually fake. But the other 10% that can execute on your idea and you can see it in an original, at least video or whatever, it's like, I'm convinced it's right there.
The last time I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. I was listening to a podcast on Radio Lab. Have you ever listened to Radio Lab? It's an NPR program. But anyways, they were talking to this journalist who trained an AI model to mimic him. And then he fed it his voice, so it like repeated his voice patterns, and he had it show up to work for him. And he had it answer all of the robocalls he was receiving, and he'd have it talk to his parents and his friends, and it was wild. It was wild. I think it would have gone off like unnoticed if the voice just wasn't like a little wooden. Like you could totally tell there was something wrong with it. But man, yeah, you better make sure your team's actually working and not just sending in their AI versions, their avatars.
I mean, it's there. And again, like, obviously if I had to bring it all the way back around, it's like, again, like you guys representing the brand, us representing a technology, like how do we stay relevant, not just today, but obviously into the future? And again, like what is the role of like the website and all of it? It like truly, again, some days, like I said, I sleep like a baby because like, again, not thinking about the house and stuff, but just purely like technology wise, like, oh, the website's still the source of truth, regardless of how people get to it or who gets to it, even if it's a machine, it's still the source of truth. So all good.
Well, I want to do some cool stuff with the AI. Like here's an idea I had. It didn't go anywhere. I don't know if it ever will, but let's make a chat. We'll make a chat bot for Ben Franklin Plumbing.
Yeah.
That will answer your plumbing questions in the voice of Ben Franklin. Right? Like the voice and personality of Ben.
Do that today.
Yeah. Well, we need it on our site. We need to like make it a feature that people like come to the site just to check out. You can hear what Ben Franklin talked like, or at least see what he would write like.
100% you should do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, again, like it's a marketing campaign. It's a test.
Yeah.
right?
And he'd use like old English. At least I think he's like that. I don't know.
Wait, Ben Franklin, did they have audio? Is that like the cylinders? Did they have like cylinders back then of recording?
I don't think they have a recording of Ben Franklin, but you could look at his writing and kind of figure out how he would have spoken.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me just ask ChatGPT real fast.
Ask him to answer a plumbing question in Ben Franklin's voice.
Can you answer? I'm just gonna ask straight up without even prompting it. Can you answer a plumbing question as Ben Franklin? Of course. Pray, do tell me your plumbing quandary, and I shall endeavor to respond with wisdom about science and common sense, as would benefit a humble tradesman and philosopher alike.
Love it. I love it. See, that is what we need.
Can you say it out loud? I can't speak out loud directly, but you can use text-to-speech features on your device to read my response
No.
in a voice of your choosing. Let me know your
That's all right. I think just the text is perfect. That is perfect.
Again, just put up the, be like, ask your plumbing question here. And again, ultimately you're prescribing where or who. Again, I have a clogged drain because my daughter's hair, whatever the hell it is, and then it's, even though it's answering like as like a funny thing, again, it may not be funny for the person in that moment. Then you just route them eventually to the closest.
Is he ready to schedule an appointment this morning?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No. Again, where we're at now, at least on our side, in terms of attracting people to DevHub, at least to the marketing team, is like, try it all.
Yeah.
Test it. I don't even care. Like, it's not about us ultimately. Like, it's about them. And so who knows what people will respond to? I always think like everything I post is going to do numbers, and it does nothing. It gets 23 views, but yeah. Honestly, Freddy, this is a good one, huh?
Yeah. Man, I'll come on anytime.
Yeah, I know. No, I like it.
Wait, what's the name of your podcast?
My personal podcast is Glider CEO by Mark Michael.
Glider CEO. Okay.
Yeah. The DevHub one is called Breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb. I like that. Nice.
Yeah,
nice
right? You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Get it? Like,
yeah, breadcrumbs. Like website
right.
breadcrumbs. Yeah.
Nobody gets it.
I totally got it.
God, that is so cool. This is the best one we've ever done. Look at it, tell you. Yeah. So Breadcrumb is the DevHub one right now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great. Well, when will it drop? I need to get ready.
I'm gonna send it right now. When I get this back, I will send it to the editor. Call it like, well, I would say before this time next week, unless he's sick or something weird.
Sweet.
I mean, again, because again, we're talking about things that are like happening today, right? It's almost irrelevant if we posted it here, like.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Like, it's now, and so.
Sweet. Well, I'll share it on my LinkedIn and see if I can get it out there. That's the only social really on is LinkedIn. I don't have the TikToks or the Instagrams.
You should get them.
I should get them. Okay. How come? What do you love about TikTok?
Again, like, I look at it like from the marketing angle alone, right?
Yeah.
Like, so here's my theory. It's like, okay, one, that you're not on social, so you actually don't fit my theory. But
okay,
let's pretend you were on social. Here's my theory. Anyone who's on those platforms, there's two buckets. There's the entertainment bucket, like, look, I just want to waste time,
Yep.
And then there's the other ones who are consuming, like, everything from interior design to like how to cook something. They want to be educated on something.
Yep.
Ultimately, I want to say any consumption of any social, there's a spark in everybody to want to do something with some tiny passion that they have that they don't think can ever be actually monetized. And I believe that, like, if they just jump a little bit, like, that channel is already the thing that they're using every day. And so it's like, again, like, it's an understanding though of Instagram versus a TikTok versus like, next week I'm gonna go live on Whatnot to do some social selling,
Yeah.
because again, like, it's like, I can't say no to something I don't know about, right?
Yeah.
I go on there and it's like, weird and awkward. Cool. But again, like we're also at the age now, like we realize that high school's over, so we can do whatever the hell we want now. So, literally, I can care less. And so yeah.
I've always just been a little averse to that. Because I don't want to like be on my phone more, you know. I'm afraid it would just like suck me in, and that's
So
all
look,
I would do.
I don't blame you in Traverse City. Is it Traverse or Traverse?
Traverse.
Traverse City.
Yeah,
So
Traverse.
my ultimate plan. So like a Traverse City, the city that I gravitate toward, or the town that I gravitate toward, is Kennebunkport, Maine.
Okay.
So it's essentially probably a little bit smaller version than Traverse City, but in that same vein, where like if I did live in that town, I would have chickens.
Yeah.
Right. I'd probably even have lavender. Right. Like I would, you know what I mean? Like,
That's so funny.
like,
I know someone who has a lot of lavender.
right. Like that's me, but right now I'm still like, the city slicker. Like I want to be in the city. I want to be here in the desert, but we're in the middle of everything, like I want to be in New York City, so like for me, I'm still in that mode. I figure I'll be in that mode for at least another 8 years, if I'm lucky enough. And then I'm doing the chickens, I'm doing the lavender, I'm doing
when the pandemic hit, it's like everybody wanted to move to Traverse City or somewhere like it, get out of the city.
It's on every list, man.
Yeah, it really is.
I bet you I have a bookmark of it right now. Let me just fucking check.
Dude, it's great. We love it. We moved here 10 years ago.
10
years ago from San Antonio, Texas. So it was like a complete 180 as far as climate and culture goes. But we love it. We came here, we had 3 dogs, no kids.
You came from where?
San Antonio.
Oh, wow. San Antonio's blowing up right now, too.
Yeah, I love San Antonio. I always thought that we'd move back. But yeah, things started falling in place here. We had kids, got a home, and yeah, we're still here.
But how'd you find there then from Texas?
Yeah, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And I took a job in San Antonio after I graduated. So I have a background in journalism. So it's just kind of getting my feet wet in the content part. But I worked for Ken's 5, so the CBS affiliate in San Antonio. I was their digital content producer. So I would, just help our broadcast journalists actually write their article and post it online. And we always had a connection to Traverse City. We'd come up here in the summers. And my mom moved up here, in 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
So we moved back to Traverse City to help her when she got sick. And so that's what brought us back to Traverse City. And then, while I was here, I got a job. My wife got a job. We had kids, and then we're still here.
Again, like I said, every article, it's on every article.
Yeah. Well, I wish they'd stop talking about it. This place is getting too big.
Is it?
It's blowing up a lot. Yeah. The home prices are going bonkers. We bought before it got bonkers, so it's not a bad thing. But for anyone who's trying to get a first time home, it's pretty challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, basically everywhere. I found weird pockets. Like there's a place in Connecticut where it's still cheap. There's still places in actually even Arizona that are still cheap. But again, like in the true location of where you want to be, no, nothing's cheap anymore.
Yep.
Like any of the places where you want to be. Like if you want to be outside of like the main, you can still get it cheap.
Well, wait, are you in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I'm right below kind of the head of the Camelback Mountain. So like we're kind of like right on the border of Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley.
Yeah. I think Prescott is pretty sweet. You go to Prescott?
It's so weird. I've been nowhere.
Really? You got to go to Prescott.
No, I've literally been nowhere.
Prescott? I don't know how they say it.
Prescott or something.
Prescott? Yeah.
No, I haven't been anywhere but this house.
Oh my gosh, Mark, you got to get out.
I know, because it's like, again, I have my little workstation right here. So like, by the way, I love it. I'm not going to complain. Like, I actually love it. But it's like, when the weekend hits, it's like I get to actually enjoy the house and the neighborhood. Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to leave it. And so, again, like we're sort of transient, right? I go here, Seattle, this and that. So it's like, I don't know, but every year is like, we've been here now, 3-4 years, I guess, since 2020. I've never been to Sedona, never been to Prescott, never been to Flagstaff, never been to Bigsby or whatever it's called. I've never been to any of them.
So do you work from home, like your home office every day?
So when I'm in Arizona,
When
I
you're in
work
Arizona.
from home, and then when we're in Seattle, where I'm in Seattle, we actually have full-blown offices there.
You still have the full in person.
Yeah. Like Daniel goes into the office, sometimes sales. About half of our people are West Coast, half are East Coast.
Mhm.
Besides some in the Midwest. I consider the Midwest from, call it Texas to Michigan, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, like the middle of the country. And so, but the majority are on the coasts. And so, but physical, square footage is in Seattle.
Yeah.
And so,
I did not like the whole work from home experiment. I go into a shared office space every day just because I got to get out of the house. Got to get out there, especially in the winter. Man, I feel like I'm going crazy some days if I don't get out of the house.
does it snow there?
We have tons of snow.
Really?
We have about a foot right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a little warm today, so it's melting. But yeah, we got tons of snow. We have a bunch of ski resorts nearby. I'm a coach. I coach kids how to ski on Monday and Wednesdays.
Do you?
Yeah, and that's what keeps me sane in the winter. It just gets me outside and moving around. Yeah, it's super fun.
I wish I learned younger. I've done it now, like I call it 12 times. I'm like the master of like the bunny hill. Like
Yeah.
I can crush it. And it's like every time anyone sees me, they're like, Mark, you can totally go up on the chair, immediate yard sale, glasses gone, freaking.
Oh gosh.
Well, I just can't. Like I freak
had
out.
that.
Man. I literally
had a
freak
kid in
out
my
every
group.
time.
On Wednesday, we went up this hill that is probably a little too challenging for her. And I thought we made it down. And right at the bottom of the hill, she just total yard sailed and was so upset and crying. And I felt so bad for her. You know what? I told her, you're not a cowboy until you fall off your horse. And she got right back up and went down the hill again.
I mean, pizza doesn't work, right?
No, pizza was not working for her. No.
Right. Like I'm just telling you, like it's all I'm saying in my head is turn idiot, left foot idiot, right foot idiot. I'm literally just yelling at myself the whole time behind my goggles, behind my helmet. I'm just turn. I'm like so tense, you know. But I can't just like let it go. And every time I put them on skis, I'm like, this is it, game over. I've watched enough videos. I've done it lessons almost every single time. I mean, got it. And then every time I'm like, God damn, how do these things work?
Yeah. God, you guys got a lot of good skiing up near Seattle. You guys ever do a DevHub day on the slopes?
We're definitely editing this out. No, I mean, everyone always says that they want to, but then it's like, honestly, I just think like, weirdly enough, I do think there's some element of remote culture where it's like people say like, oh, we want to be in an office. Cool. Well, we have one. Come through. You know, hey, we all want to go skiing. You know, because we have a rule. It's like any 3 people from DevHub that want to do anything, it's paid for.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you know what I mean? Like if 3 people want to go skiing, we got your skiing. I
Will
will
was
edit that out.
Will was like, does anyone want to go to a fish show? DevHub.
Right? Yeah, I know. She's not kidding about that. Okay, edit in. Cool, Freddy. This was a good one.
Yeah, Mark. Thanks for having me on, man. It was
Yeah,
great meeting you,
again,
too.
like now that I know like a little bit, like again, it's the first time we met too. You know what I mean? Like we can always do like subject matter blank. You know.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
so again, this is a good intro to all of it.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you need anything else.
No, but a good headshot.
A good headshot? Shoot, I don't know if I have a good headshot. All right, I'll try to find one. Does it have to be like a professional headshot?
No, just something that we can just edit the background out.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can fish up.
Cool.
Cool. All right, Mark. Have a great rest of your day and a good weekend, man.
Thank you, Freddie. I'll pass it along to everybody. I was like, yeah, you guys are right. He was legit. Again, I didn't know why they were so excited. I was like, relax. Like they just lit up. I was like,
well, I don't know why they're so excited too. But
oh yeah,
I'm always excited to see your team. They're great, man. I really like them.
Thank you. I'll pass it along too.
All right.
Have a good weekend, Freddie.
You too. See ya.
Bye.